Dinner Friday night, President Obama seemed to endorse the Ground Zero Mosque. Here's what he said.
Muslims have the right to practice their religion as everyone else in this country. And that includes the right to build a place of worship in a community center on private property in Lower Manhattan in accordance with local laws and ordinances. This is America, and our commitment to religious freedom must be unshakable.
Those are prepared statements. And who disagrees with what our Constitution says? I mean, if I had a nickel for every time I heard Barack Obama refer to the founding principles of this country and the constitutional foundation they laid, I'd have nearly a dime in my pocket right now. Of course, the other time was this time.
That generally the Constitution is a charter of negative liberties, says what the states can't do to you, says what the federal government can't do to you, but it doesn't say what the federal government or the state government must do on your behalf.
Yeah, I mean, stop harping on it already. We get it. Now, some might say he took such a seemingly strong stance in favor of the mosque, maybe because he's friends with Bernardine Dohrn and Bill Ayers, who support the flotilla movement. Maybe it was just, the celebratory nature of the Ramadan festivities, with the Muslim dignitaries that were there Friday, like Mr. Salam al-Marayati of Muslim Public Affairs Council, who suggested on a radio show shortly after 9/11 that Israel be put on the suspect list. Then he later apologized. He has also said that American Muslims strongly denounce terrorism, saying that it is contrary to the true Islamic beliefs. But see, then Americans hear something like this, and then you don't know who to believe.
You can't say that Islam is a religion of peace, because Islam, it does not mean peace. Islam is, it's Islam's submission. So the Muslim is the one who submits. There's a place for violence in Islam. There's a place for jihad in Islam.
You should see that whole interview. It is quite terrifying. Then when the imam of the proposed Ground Zero Mosque won't even denounce Hamas as a terrorist organization, it's a little confusing to a lot of Americans. The president understood that. That's why on Saturday he came out and clarified with his "let me be clear" kind of clarity. We'll share that next.
Ever wonder who's searching for you?
Ramadan dinner. The president seems to make a clear statement in favor of the Ground Zero Mosque here in New York. Saturday, he cleared up the clarity.
I was not commenting, and I will not comment on the wisdom of making a decision to put a mosque there. I was commenting very specifically on the right that people have that dates back to our founding.
There's one thing that Barack Obama never, ever does, and that is comment on the wisdom of local issues. Well, I'm okay, except for the case in Cambridge when he said the police acted stupidly. And the Arizona law, which he said would lead to profiling and racism. Oh, and the important saga of where LeBron James should play basketball, but certainly it is super, super rare. There is no constitutional argument over whether Muslims have the right to practice their religion. That's ridiculous. It's America. We all have a right to follow God and build our houses of worship. All Americans are clear on that, and if they're not, those are the dummies. What is at issue is the wisdom of this mosque, in the place of this mosque, and with the imam of this, and the funding of this mosque. And what's at issue is a president who suddenly seems to be all about the founding principles of this great country, but in fact has denied those very principles on multiple occasions. We do not deny the people the right to worship the way they choose, but neither should it be denied that this country was founded on Judeo-Christian principles, period. And yet the president says this.
Which passages of Scripture should guide our public policy? Should we go with Leviticus, which suggests slavery is okay, and that eating shellfish is an abomination? Or we could go with Deuteronomy Deuteronomy, which suggests stoning your child if he strays from the faith? Or should we just stick to the Sermon on the Mount, a passage that is so radical that it's doubtful that our own Defense Department would survive its application?
I wonder if in the future Barack Obama should refrain from commenting on the wisdom of Scripture and America's founding principles.